of Homo sapiens. Because in the coming generations, we will learn how to engineer bodies and brains and minds. Now, how exactly will the future masters of the planet look like? This will be decided by the people who own the data. Now, why is data so important? It's important because we've reached the point when we can hack not just computers, we can hack human beings and other organisms. Now, what do you need in order to hack a human being? You need two things. You need a lot of computing power, and you need a lot of data, especially biometric data. But control of data might enable human elites to do something even more radical than just build digital dictatorships. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it. All of life, for 4 billion years, dinosaurs, amoebas, tomatoes, humans, all of life was subject to the laws of natural selection and to the laws of organic biochemistry. But this is now about to change. Science is replacing evolution by natural selection with evolution by intelligent design. Not the intelligent design of some god above the clouds, but our intelligent design and the intelligent design of our clouds, the IBM cloud, the Microsoft cloud. These are the new driving forces of evolution. And at the same time, science may enable life, after being confined for 4 billion years to the limited realm of organic compounds, science may enable life to break out into the inorganic realm.
How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So, individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet, but this is something that we're working on.
Who are still under the impression that Kissinger is a humanitarian, you do not know what he said about Indians. He said that Indians are bastards. And who are the deep state associates working with him supporting his plan? Rockefeller, Bill Gates, WHO, UNICEF, GAVI, ICMR, NII, NTAGI, PATH, SAC, and many more. For them, Indians are bastards. I don't know whether Modi ji and Mothabhai are aware of this. Someone please translate it to Hindi and send it to Yogi ji at least. I don't have a team right now. Bloody no one has guts to come out and speak in front of camera. Pissed off people, even if you call them bastards, they will apply all kinds of this karma, logic, existence will take care of them, they will suffer. You know, these peaceful people, these are the actual idiots who facilitate the genocide. Doesn't matter you have a powerful military at the border, you will be killed if you are not aware of the threat. I'm not just talking about Hindus, it could, and the case is still open. More shockingly, our apex immunization advisory body, National Technical Advisory Group on Immunization, has a financial tie-up with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation till 2017. What changed in the aftermath? Nothing other than direct financial support. Bill and Melinda Gates are still working hand-to-hand with ICMR, PATH and NTAGI. They have access to the President, Prime Minister, and almost all Chief Ministers of India. Melinda Gates was in India on 5th December. On 13th December, NTAGI chief has given statement that he hopes that India will soon provide HPV vaccine to girls from 9 to 14 years in the national program. In connection
with medicines, that is, might some of them have side effects? Do we need safety testing? I mean, and we're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein.
Take a look at Bill and Melinda Gates' divorce papers. Remember this name, Paul Weiss. 27 years of marriage, billions of dollars, all collapsing at once.
There was one report that said it was multiple affairs. Do you care to say anything about that?
I think those are questions Bill needs to answer.
Okay.
Divorce is often when the darkest secrets come to light. Melinda Gates was obviously holding back in that first clip, but here you can listen for yourself how she really feels.
I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein. I made that clear to him I also met Jeffrey Epstein because I wanted to see who this man was. And I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards. So, my heart breaks for these young women because that's how I felt. And here I'm an older woman. My God, I feel terrible for those young women. It's awful. But I made it very clear how I felt about him.
A source who claims to have worked for them told me that Melinda and Bill had multiple very intense fights about Jeffrey Epstein. While I have no way to confirm that, I'm inclined to believe it, because from her own words, Melinda tried to convince Bill to distance himself from Jeffrey. Instead of listening to her, Bill ended up choosing Epstein over his wife. Ask yourself, why would a man choose another man over his wife of 27 years? What did Epstein have that Bill Gates values so much? But the rabbit hole gets deeper. Let's circle back to Bill and Melinda's divorce papers. The name Paul Weiss appears here at the bottom. If that name sounds familiar to you, that's because it is. Paul Weiss represented Sam Bankman-Fried briefly before Sam Bankman-Fried hired Mark Cohen. Mark Cohen, by the way, is the same person who represented Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's #1 accomplice. The web is connected in more ways than you can even imagine. Paul Weiss is the only signature, by the way, that's missing. Why would you be hired if you're not even going to bother to show up to sign it? It appears that Paul's job was to try to prevent information about Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Gates from coming out, and therefore his presence was not necessary at signing. Unfortunately for Bill, though, he did not do a very good job of that. It gets worse, though. Take a look at this. On August 9th, 2019, Bill Gates posted this picture. Take a look at the expression on his face. Also, notice what book he is reading. It is a book called In Search of Memory. Erase the man, erase the memory. Guess what happened less than 24 hours after Bill Gates posted that picture?
Breaking news this hour, officials say multimillionaire Jeffrey Epstein has taken his own life.
Yesterday, he was found dead here, in his cell in Manhattan. The Federal Bureau of Prisons called it an apparent suicide. His victims say they have now been robbed of justice, as he will never face the consequences of the crimes he committed.
Then only a few days after that, Bill posted this rare selfie of him and his wife alone together in a picture. He has the biggest smile on his face, and the caption is a little daunting. It says, "Happy birthday to my favorite person at Melinda French Gates. You've had an amazing year. I can't wait to see how you top it." What exactly, though, did he get her for her birthday? Perhaps they were relieved that the one man who could take them down was gone. Perhaps it was no coincidence that all of the cameras randomly stopped working and the Justice Department seems to have swept everything under the rug involving Jeffrey Epstein and his mysterious death. I don't need to say anything out loud. You can connect the dots yourself.
As his body left hospital, countless questions remained. Given that Epstein was found semi-conscious in his cell last month, why was he still not on suicide watch at the time of his death?
One thing I will say for certain, though, is that it's only a matter of time now before Bill Gates finds himself on the other side of the iron bars. Bill Gates, if you're watching this right now, I highly encourage you to go ahead and come out and admit what has happened. Accept the consequences for your actions rather than having them built up inside you. I'm sure that is excruciating, and the only way to get rid of that is to just simply come out, confess everything that has happened, let that free, and then you can move forward and accept the consequences as you should. If you would like to support my efforts to expose the crimes of the richest and most powerful people on earth, make sure to become a member.
My TED Talk, 90% of the views are after the pandemic one started, not before.